Richard Moore here from 8-Step-Startup. Hope you're well and welcome to the next startup tip of the day. We're almost done now actually. We've done almost the 30 and these are tips of course from business owners, the best-selling authors I've been in touch with, and of course some wonderful professors from world-class business schools, all of which have really kindly shared information with me for the 8-Step-Startup course, and I'm just giving you a quick tip each day for the month basically. So today's tip is one I was given many years ago when I just started out in business, and it was just before I launched my first company. It was actually my cousin who is a freelance award-winning journalist actually, and he said, because he was self-employed at the time rather than having his own company, and he said to me, Richard, one of the best pieces of advice I could ever give you is, even though it will cost you a load, get an accountant. It makes such a difference. And I had heard horror stories from people who had gone the cheap route to get a really cheap accountant. They hadn't paid much, but then they got screwed, and you know, the accountant hadn't thought about things like deadlines, and then it was like the night before their tax returns were due, they're up all night with receipts and things. And so one of my mentors, who was a wonderful guy who'd helped me out, very kind of casual mentor if you like, who's self-made, absolutely wonderful business. He'd grown over many decades. He put me in touch with his accountants, who were very reputable and fantastic. So, you know, if you're looking for a great accountant, test the waters, see who uses what, but go to the top. Who do the best people you know use? And the accountants, they, to put it in the words of my cousin, although I was paying out money, the amount I saved was immense, and it's absolutely true. You may not feel it because, for instance, my first year I was incorporating the company. I had tax returns to do because I was a sole trader, as it's known, as well as being having my own limited company business as well. And there's all the other things going on. I had, like, apparently at one point I had, I think, 3 separate legal statuses, and the accountant just cut through all of that. I was able to call them at any time. They were always there. They could always answer my emails, and everything became very clear. And I remember the accountant saying, look, it's not about, you know, when it comes to paying tax, for instance, it's not about trying to avoid paying tax, but you don't want to pay more than you should do legally. And so our job here, one of our jobs, is to make sure that you are paying the right amount of tax rather than more than that. And so you get a lot of good forewarning about things. They take the brunt of things. All the paperwork that the tax office throws your way, they're just dealt with it. And it meant that I can focus on the thrill of building my business, because for me, accountancy is something that doesn't really hold as much interest. And you know, you've got to watch this. Unless you're an accounting firm of your own, then your business is the focus of creating your business. While you need to have a grasp, a strong one, of what accounting issues there are and understand exactly what's going on. Like with anything, I have a strong enough grasp of the accounting, the legal side, the web development, every single element, because I want to make sure that I understand what's going on at all times in all spaces. But where my strong ability is in the main core of what my business does. Now, if you like doing the administrative side too much, then you'll end up taking time away from the business of growing, selling, and creative side, which is important at the start to actually get your business flowing in. And you know, it would be very wise to take the hit, spend the money, and have someone cover the accounting for you. It was quite good in a way, because it meant that I knew the kind of money I would need to have in the first year to cover my accounting fees. So that was like a milestone. I had to get at least that much. It was a very good way of creating some focus for me, because I knew I would get this bill at the end of the year. But it afforded me, and seriously, if you've not done this yet, if you're about to embark on startup business, listen very carefully. It afforded me such an immense amount more time that I could use to build my business. There's no question that I made the amount of money needed to pay for the accountant, several £1,000s. The amount of money I needed to pay for them was made several times over easily in the time it would have taken to do all of the tax affairs myself. okay, tax and accounting stuff. So get an accountant, but get a great accountant. They're going to be your wingman for a lot of this, and you don't want to have to be bogged down in the books and the balance sheets and the stuff like that. You need a what's known as a high level view of what's going on. You need to know what's going on in your bank account. You need to have a grasp of your spreadsheets, and I'm in mine every single day. But the tough stuff, get them doing it, because then you're not ever having to take your eye off the ball. For sometimes, for many, it's like, right, I've got to close all the doors and windows and just hole up for an entire week and do my tax stuff. You don't want to have to do that. You want it to be a much more enjoyable ride, okay? So bear that in mind. It's a really crucial point. It may be a bit dry talking about accountancy, some people feel that, but it's just as important as anything else, because you might get hit with a massive fine if you're not submitting particular paperwork in time, and that's something that they become liable for rather than you. So that's much more pleasant way of doing things. Anyway, speak to you tomorrow for more business tips.